Dr. Mohammed Ibrahim Shire is a lecturer in security risk management at the Institute of Criminal Justice and University of Portsmouth. He joins me now from Portsmouth in the United Kingdom. Good to have you on the show. Let's start off with the Ethiopian Prime Minister. He said last week that military operations in this region, in the northern Tigray region, would be entering its final phase. But there are also very real concerns that this conflict could become a long and a brutal battle. How do you see it?
Well, thank you for having me. Well, the conflict at the moment is not protracted yet. There has been some considerable advances made by the Ethiopian National Defense Forces. They have managed to capture some key towns, but so far they haven't made any strides into capturing the capital city. Now, the problem is whether they managed to capture some of the key areas around the capital city of Tigray region. That might actually lead to some kind of protracted conflict, because obviously there's a rock terrain and mountainous region might actually prevent the Ethiopian army from actually trying to make some solid gains. So it all depends on how they approach the road to Mekelle, because the thing is, so far these territories that are captured have come all the way, have been primarily focused on the west and the north and some of the south. But again, that's because of the lack of the rock terrain. But as they grow inroad into the capital city of Tigray region, it might prove to be far more difficult in capturing the whole region.
All right, so that's a good overview and explanation of the military operation. But let's talk about sort of the possibility of mediation, because the African Union has said that it would be sending a team of mediators to Ethiopia in a bid to resolve this dispute. Does that strike any hope of an immediate prospect for peace with you?
Well, the thing is, I believe that obviously Abiy Ahmed termed this as a law enforcement operation. So he promised a quick operation. Now, for him to accept the international mediation, it sends out the signal that this is a civil war, obviously contradicting Abiy's claim. Now, you have to also understand that Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed still enjoys significant popular support for this particular operation. And thus far, there haven't been any comparable actions in other federal regions. So, and also on top of the fact that, again, the Ethiopian National Defense Force is making significant advances into the Tigray region. So that's probably the main reason why he has so far rejected any international mediation. But also at the same time, remember that when the TPLF administration started the conflict by attacking the Northern Command, they were banking on international mediation. Remember, they sent a letter out to the African Union requesting international mediation. Now, I believe that for mediation to happen on both sides, remember, they have to actually accept the prospect of negotiation. Now, Ethiopia is a proud country with a long, rich history. I believe the focus should not be on external mediation, but I think the focus should be on insider mediation, because the reason being is that, again, we have these issues when it comes to the Horn of Africa. External mediation rarely works. One case example is Somalia, where we had dozen external mediation that weren't quite effective. I believe the focus should be more inward into the insider mediation, by actually focus on the Ethiopian civil society.
Okay.
I think they can, yeah.
Briefly, if I could ask you a brief answer. I mean, you weighed in on this conflict being sort of being protracted or not, and you also talked about the style of mediation, but how much is the region's stability under threat?
Well, the thing is, I don't think there are going to be any other countries that are going to be drawn into this conflict, but I think we have to understand that Ethiopia is a linchpin in the Horn of Africa, in the sense that they are a net exporter of security to the broader region. By that I mean Somalia and South Sudan. Now, Ethiopia already contributes troops to the peacekeeping missions in Somalia, the African mission of Somalia, and also South Sudan. What will happen, obviously, if this becomes a protracted conflict, if the TPLF turns to insurgency, becomes a guerrilla army, and the conflict eventually turns to protracted, then obviously will have a great effect on the wider region, especially Somalia and obviously South Sudan. Okay. Now, that may mean that obviously Ethiopia might withdraw their troops in Bay, Bakol, and the Geda region. It also means that it might embolden Al-Shabaab, the violent group in Somalia, to actually entrench their presence in the Jubaland state of Somalia.
All right, Dr. Mohammed Ibrahim Shire, thank you very much for joining us.